It's really important that you start building momentum like yesterday. I often get asked, when is the best time to start, Nicola? And the best time to start is always yesterday. And if you can't start something yesterday, the next best option is now. So let's have a look at how you can start building momentum right now so that you can become more visible, have more authority online, and be seen as someone who needs to be listened to, and of course, stand out from the crowd. Hi, I'm Nicola. Most people tend to wait till the new year before they start ramping up momentum, or they wait until the middle of the year or the next quarter. The thing is this, if you are wanting to build momentum, you've got to build it right now and really consistently over what is, essentially an extended period of time. Now, there are a lot of things and a lot of threats that you need to be aware of when it comes to building momentum. For example, being distracted. Being distracted by shiny things, new ideas and stuff like that. That can happen all the time throughout the year, right? I mean, you are an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. You work in an organization where there are always lots of innovative thinking, different ideas that kind of come up. So having those shiny things come in can really throw you off your momentum game. Another really big threat out there is this whole thing about being focused. Most of us aren't able to sustain a really singular lane of focus for very long at all. So that is another big threat. It's your inability to remain on track, doing what you need to do on a regular and a consistent basis. So what I wanted to step you through today is some things, mainly three main things that you can do right now in order to help you build momentum, build that energy, stoke that fire over a really consistent period of time. The first thing that you need to determine is, what is your plan going to look like for the next year? Now, I think the easiest way for you to be able to determine that is to work out what is the overall focus that you want to have in terms of how you want your people to feel. So mine for over these next 12 months is about you guys feeling like absolute freaking rock stars, people who can get out there, own their space, rock their stuff in a really powerful way, but in a way that also feels like you. If you've seen that latest movie by Lady Gaga recently, A Star Is Born, you will know that she gets up, she does it anyway. She's super scared in many scenes, but she does it. And she does it in a way at the start that is particularly understated, that is particularly calm. And so, you might be like that. Or maybe you're someone who's already, ready to get out and do the razzle-dazzle and really show up in a strong way. Either way, whether you're a little bit more reserved or you're kind of like rock star already, that's the kind of feeling that I want you guys to really be able to tap into with your marketing. Really be able to tap into with your profile building, your presence, your content strategies. So for you need to work out, all right, based on my audience, what is the big thing that I want them to feel and experience with you over the 12 months? The next thing that you need to look at is, okay, well, I need to be able to build out a plan, right? Because if you've got a plan, if you've got a framework, then you've got something that you can keep chipping away at. Now, you don't have to go and create 12 months worth of content today. You don't have to go and create 6 months worth of content today. But if you've got a plan, then you can schedule it, you can make sure that you've got your structure right, and you are a hell of a lot more likely to actually get it done versus trying to wait for the motivation or trying to find a gap in your schedule and in your calendar. So planning is really important. So we've got our big overarching goal that we're going to help our audience to feel over the next 12 months. What are you going to do each quarter? So you've got 4 quarters. What are you going to do in the first quarter? in terms of a focal point, a focal key message. What about the second quarter? What about the third quarter? And then what about the fourth quarter? Now, I like to work in 90-day blocks of time. So usually what I do from a marketing perspective is I look at, okay, what promotions do I want to run through January through March? What kind of campaigns do I want to do? What sort of free things can I put together? What can I do that's going to really support that overarching message and be able to maintain consistency? The next thing that I like to do once I've got that quarter one sorted is actually look at, right, well, each week this is what I can talk about. And that gives me then my topics for my blogs for the year. It gives me everything that I need. Now, I like to create then 12 in one hit. I really like to get a whole quarter's worth of work done. I call it batching. I like to get that done because once it's done, I can focus on my delivery. I can focus on my clients. I can focus on the events. I can focus on whatever it is that I'm doing that is not about trying to feed this social media digital beast that is freaking hungry for content all the time. It also means that everything that I put out is consistent. So work out in that quarter what it is that you need to do. Work out in the next quarter, each month, what you're going to focus on. Get your content structure written out. The same with quarter three and then the same with quarter four. Once you've got all of that mapped out, I generally build a document that looks something like this. I'll show you the one from last year. So I've got my 4 weeks, got the 4 sections in there, the 4 weeks, and I know what I'm going to talk about with the blog. And then I do that for each month. So I've got, that was a February page, then I've got March, and I've got April. So I build it out that way. And then that way, when I'm filming, I've just got it sitting there or pinned up just below the camera there, and I know what it is that I'm working through. I know what it is that I'm talking about. So the theme, for argument's sake, at the moment is around momentum. I know if you've got plan and you've got structure, then you're able to batch create things. It means that you're able to build momentum while you are still doing what you're doing. So you're not going to have, oh, I'm not really feeling very motivated to do that today. Or, oh my gosh, I want to go and do this first. This is my new priority. Or, oh, look at that shiny thing. Let's go do that. Or I'm really just not feeling my best. I'm not feeling the vibe, right? So if you can schedule time in to get out there and create what you need to create or film what you need to film, it means that those threats to your momentum are now null and void. Yeah, awesome. The next part, once you've got your planning done, you know what you're going to do, you want to have a look at a bit of a structure. So let's say that one of your weeks, or one of your months rather, is around momentum. 1 month, 1 week, you might talk about what momentum is. You might do some education around that. The second week, you might talk about the different tools that you can use for motivation. The third week, it might be some of those threats that might come in. The fourth thing might be around building your support team so that you've got momentum people. You've got people around you helping you maintain and build and grow that momentum, right? So it's like your momentum sphere. So that would be your 4 things. But we can't stop there, right? Because otherwise all you're doing is putting one piece of content out every week, and we know that that is just not enough. So now that you've looked at, all right, let's say we look at this momentum sphere, your momentum team. So in that week that's your topic, on Monday you can talk a little bit about it. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you might do a Facebook Live on it. You might do a couple of memes on it, like those picture quote things. You might do a text post. You can share your blog. You might do a podcast on it. You've got lots of different things in that week that you can talk about in terms of a momentum sphere. You might talk about communication. You might talk about how to find the right people to get into your momentum sphere. Yeah? So it gives you a focal point for the week, which ties into your focus for the month, which ties into your focus for the quarter, which ties into your overall focus for the year. But you've got to have that structure with how to then roll it out. okay? The next thing that you need to do, and I cannot advocate for this more, than I do already, I don't think. You've got to block out time in your calendar specifically for filming or writing and scheduling the posts, for doing the creative work and then applying it. Because all of this planning is freaking useless if you don't implement. All of the planning in the world will not help you if you are not executing the strategy. Yeah? It's a bit like you can go to the Googles and find a $1 million business plan for coaches or consultants or retail or whatever industry that you're in. But the thing is that if you are not someone who is able to then take that plan, personalize it and tailor it to you, and then implement that plan, it's a freaking waste of time, right? The same as anything. So without execution, all you're doing is wasting your time. So please make sure that you are putting pillars in your schedule, and you might do it quarterly, where you spend time doing a bunch of filming, go do the editing, go get everything scheduled up, and do it as far in advance as you can. All right, I think I've harped on that enough. Now, there are a couple of tools that I have available to you that will help you with this. The first is my book, Visible. So that takes you right through from unpacking your knowledge so that you know exactly the kinds of things that you can leverage within your own experience to be able to build momentum and become more visible online. Then we have a look at your audience, because we've got to make sure that what you're putting out there is really communicating with them. The third thing we go through is around building presence and the strategies for that. So we've got the book. The second thing that's really important is my Visible Digital Content Map, which is a big visual tool that you can stick up on your wall. It's A1 size, so it's nice and big. You can write on it and then rub it off and get your plan out there, so that no matter when, my desk is just over there. So when I'm sitting at my desk, I can see the planner on my wall and I know, oh, right, yeah, we're quarter 1, week 2. I've got to be talking about self-confidence and inner validation. Right? So if you need either of those tools, just go to the shop tab in the blog. You can see it right there. You can buy the book on its own. You can buy the content planner on its own. It comes with a training as well, or you can buy a bundle. So my name is Nicola. If you have any questions about this or anything else to do with building momentum and really you being seen, being more visible and getting yourself out there, please let me know. I would love to answer them for you. Meanwhile, have a great day, great night, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you soon.